Benchmark PM offers an easy-to-use, flexible scheduling module. We use true resource scheduling, so you can create schedules for providers, nurses and other staff, locations, rooms, pieces of equipment, and even shared resources. You can create however many work patterns you need for your various resources using the rules engine to design your availability. Users can also view multiple resources on screen at once, or use a tabbed approach if that suits their needs better. The left panel of the screen allows you to easily select from your resources, dates, and use tools such as jumping forward a number of days, weeks, or months, or searching for available times by specifying days of the weeks and times desired. Making an appointment is as simple as clicking on the time selected, and then searching for a patient, either by name, date of birth, chart number, or other searchable criteria. Reviewing any alerts placed on the account, selecting the appointment type, and then putting in any appointment notes you wish to have. You can also schedule new patient appointments on the fly by clicking on the plus sign up next to the patient's name, and this will register your appointment in the system. Hovering your mouse over an appointment gives you information on the patient, including their various phone numbers, insurances on file, and alert notices. Right-clicking on an appointment will give you a pop-up menu where you can edit information, cancel, reschedule, as well as access tools like our waiting list and recall list. Appointment reschedules can be done either by dragging and dropping or cutting and pasting, and you can select multiple appointments at once. Waiting room management can also be invoked from the right-click menu, so you can track the progress of a patient's visit as well as track confirmation statuses. Updating a status displays a color bar on the left of the appointment, timestamps the event, and sends that information to your EHR system via interface. We also have integrated text reminders for appointments that will automatically update confirmation status if used. Waiting room management statuses can also be invoked by the front desk staff on our patient entry screen. Benchmark PM can allow practices to offer online appointment self-scheduling if interested. We can embed a self-scheduling window into your practice's existing website, where patients can make their own appointments without needing to log in, downloading a separate app, or visiting a different website. This tool matches existing patients based on first and last name and date of birth, and can allow for brief new patient setup if desired. Appointments can be made only for those resources, dates, and types of appointment that the practice has designated. Benchmark PM offers a smooth process for patient registration and insurance eligibility verification. The embedded list of appointments on the right side of the screen provides an easy way to access accounts simply by clicking on the patient's name. You can also begin or update the patient's waiting room management status by clicking on the appropriate box to the right of their name to indicate when they have checked in, been taken back to an exam room, or have completed the visit and checked out. The color of the patient's name is a representation of their primary insurance eligibility status. Eligibility checks can be sent automatically based on the appointment date and your workflow settings, so that the day of the visit, the front desk staff will know which patient's coverage is current and those where they need to get updated patient information. You can search for patients by name, date of birth, insurance policy number, or by right-clicking on the search box to see your recent search history. Any searchable field will give you a list of potential matches to whatever you are typing, and the more you type, the more filtered your matches become, such as zip codes to find city-state zip combinations. You will see the same search logic when searching for patients, doctors, insurances, or codes of any kind. There are several expandable areas on the patient screen, starting with the guarantor. In our system, if you need to designate a guarantor other than the patient, you can click on the button to open the guarantor box and fill in the information on who the responsible party is. You can link multiple patient accounts to a shared guarantor in order to send a single bill to a family rather than sending every patient a separate statement. In a similar way, you can click on the appropriate button to add a primary, secondary, or tertiary insurance. You can also always perform a real-time eligibility verification on a patient by simply clicking on the eligibility button for a given policy. You will receive the overall eligible or not eligible top-level response in just a few seconds. If a patient is eligible, whatever benefits information was returned by the carrier is available to you, and we have built-in filter options to allow you to easily find the parts of the response that are most relevant to you. Benefits information is stored historically by date of service, so you always have access to it after the fact. We not only support traditional primary, secondary, and tertiary insurances, but also have the ability to set up additional billing tracks to handle other billing scenarios without having to create a separate account for the patient, such as personal insurance versus workers' comp. If a patient has multiple billing tracks, on each visit you can designate which billing pathway to use. Beyond the standard information on the account, we also support up to 20 custom fields as part of our patients. These fields can be text boxes, choices to be made, check boxes, what have you. And any such custom fields that we add as part of the implementation process can be reported on as well. Benchmark PM has two primary methods for creating charges. Charge data can be imported from external sources, most typically in EHR. Such data can be filtered, reviewed, and even fully edited before being accepted into the system for billing purposes. The most common format for receiving such data is HL7, but we can also accept CSV files, XLS files, or even custom data files. Importing the charge information eliminates the data entry portion of your billing process. But even for manually creating charges, we have tried to make the process easy and efficient to do. The first step would be setting your batch defaults to try and minimize the amount of data entry needed by setting default dates, locations, providers, etc., as well as specifying certain behaviors you want the charges screen to use, such as always billing the patient's primary insurance unless told otherwise, or automatically importing the patient's previous diagnostic codes. Once the batch information has been set, you find a patient either by searching or typing in their account number or chart number, and filling in the details of the specific charge you're working on. We support multiple procedure code sets, so you can easily add several CPT codes at once for commonly grouped procedures, and you have access to additional billing fields when you need them, whether it's narrative data, Box 19 style data, additional billing info, NDC codes, what have you. When all procedures have been entered for the visit, you can either save that charges on the patient, or you can even add a payment as a part of this charge creation process. We do have the ability to integrate credit card payment processing for practices that are interested right at this level as well. Benchmark PM has an integrated claims management tool designed to make your follow-up on unpaid claims both efficient and effective. It's your one-stop shop for all things related to unpaid claims, from simple status reviews to claim corrections, rebills, transfers, and open private balances as well. Because Benchmark is not only the practice management system, but also the first stage EDI clearinghouse, we assign every claim a unique tracking number, which we then use to determine a claim status based on the EDI response report data received. The claims management screen is organized based on who the claim is outstanding to, and the goal is for users to set up filters to present a work list of claims that need their attention, such as ones that have a rejected status. Users can work their open claims and take several actions, such as doing rebills, transferring to another responsible party, doing write-offs, or even creating finance charges, all right from this one screen. If you have questions on any given claim, you can click on the Details link to see the full billing history of that item, including all of the various transactions applied to it, any service notes your staff have added, as well as all of the various EDI response reports we received back on that claim. We are not only receiving these reports, we're actually parsing that data for you and presenting it to you in an easily readable format. So if there had been any issues with the claim, that would be noted at the top and highlighted in red. Not only can we do that, but if you're doing electronic remittances, you can see the EOB linked here as well, and even a link to the actual 837 billing file that was sent out to the carrier. There's never going to be any mystery about where a claim stands when you use Benchmark's claim management tool. Benchmark PM processes electronic remittances through our Open Remits engine. As 835 files are automatically received from the carriers, we will always create a human-readable EOB from that data and allow you to post the payments to the patient accounts easily. To apply a given check or checks, simply select them, put in your batch and date information, and click the Process button. Most EOBs have over 95% of their payments posted automatically to the patient accounts. Any denials, rejects, or problematic entries will be moved to the Remit follow-up section for your staff to review and make manual decisions on what actions need to be taken for these items. Payment data is also captured so that we can send secondary and tertiary claims electronically, and we keep copies of all of the remits at both a full check level as well as on the individual patient account level. So it's always available to you if you have questions. We also have options for handling non-electronic insurance payments, patient payments received through the mail, and other payment scenarios using one of our other payment entry methods. Benchmark PM's patient statements are very easy to use. To start, you can always access any of your previous statement runs and see those bills at either a batch level or even on an individual patient account. When creating a new batch of statements, you get to set the criteria on minimum balances, days between bills, aging levels, and even how much detail you want to appear on the bill using your balance forwarding dates. For creating the statements, you have the option of either printing them in office or letting Benchmark assume the burden of printing and mailing on your behalf. However you do it, Benchmark will present a list of the patients about to receive a bill from your office, so you can review them in advance. And if you want to, you could elect to hold individuals out of a run or even put individualized messages on statements. We also validate the patient's addresses versus the Postal Service's database to make sure you have the highest chance of having a successful mail delivery. However you generate your statements, we always have copies of them available to you so you can see exactly the bill that the patient received. And optionally, for practices that are interested, you can take advantage of our online bill pay, where patients can either scan the QR code with their phone or type in the URL presented to take them to a secure online website where they can log in, see how much they owe, and elect to put in a credit card payment online. Payments made via the payment portal will automatically be applied in the Benchmark PM system with no additional action needed. There's also the ability to link educational material for the patient depending upon their specific diagnostic codes. Benchmark PM's account inquiry screen easily allows you to review a patient's financial information with all relevant data in one central place. The top third of the screen is basic information about the patient, including their AR and aging levels. The bulk of the screen is the line item charges from their account. And clicking on any one of them will show you all of the various transactions that have occurred on that account. And you'll notice that the insurance payments and adjustments are hyperlinks to the EOB where those payments came from. Clicking on the date of service of a given line item will show you the full billing history for that line item. Right-clicking on a line item will give you a pop-up menu of additional actions you can take, such as transferring balances, rebilling a service, printing a claim form, or patient ledger. There are also tabs which will show you messages on the account at both the patient and claim level, a patient payment history with the ability to print information, for example, for tax purposes, as well as the patient's statement history that has links to the actual bills the patient received themselves. Our inquiry screen has all of the patient financial information you might need centralized in a single, easy-to-access place. Benchmark PM was designed to make your life easier, and reporting is no exception. All of our reports have the same presentation, where you make selections on screen for the various reporting criteria, and then you will receive the report output on screen first.
You can always elect to print the output by clicking on the printer icon. But we also have a variety of built-in data exporting options, so you can save any report as a PDF file, Excel spreadsheet, CSV, or even text file to make getting data out of the system simple. We can also take advantage of the browser nature of our product by drilling down to get details, by control-clicking on an insurance category to open up a tab containing the patients inside that category, or by clicking on a particular patient account to open a new browser tab directly on their account inquiry screen. Benchmark PM comes with a comprehensive library of reports, but as a part of our implementation process, we will do a reporting analysis with you to determine if you need any additional or custom reports. Our system allows for an unlimited amount of custom reporting because included with the platform is the reporting tool we use to create and modify all of the reports, called the Report Designer. This is a powerful reporting engine that opens the door to full custom reporting so that we can tackle what needs you have today as well as what new reports you may need in the future. The engine can query any data in the system and display it in an array of report formats and styles. Practices can learn to use this tool themselves if desired, but our support staff can also design and modify reports for you. In fact, it's easy for us to export reports from our reporting library and import them into your practice's database. From financial reports to letters, forms, graphs, or other output documents designed to feed into other systems, the inclusion of the Report Designer can ensure Benchmark BM's reporting fits your needs exactly. Thank you for taking the time to view this Benchmark Practice Management demonstration video. If you have questions or would like to arrange for more in-depth personal demonstration, please let us know. We look forward to working with you.